You're here with the Mouse Vibes, and we're back at Universal Studios Hollywood. We're a little over a month away from the 60th anniversary at Universal Studios Hollywood, and the studio tram tour will be the focal point of the celebration. Last week, Universal revealed the newly retrofitted Glamour trams that honestly look pretty awesome.
Woo! 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 Ow!
And today we have even more details for the 60th anniversary. That looks like it's gonna start on Friday, April 26th and run all summer long through August.
Really? I know, I was so surprised too.
Even though Universal hasn't officially announced these dates yet, these dates were confirmed at the first Community Advisor panel for 2024 that took place on March 18th. And it's fair to say we underestimated the scale of the celebration. We should be expecting 60th anniversary merchandise, which I'm also hoping is retrofitted to match the Glamour tram theming and vibe. It would also be cool if they were able to bring back merchandise from extinct attractions like E.T.,
I've never flown like this before.
Back to the Future, and Backdraft.
The only place where you can see the stars and ride the movie. Universal Studios Hollywood.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the 60th anniversary be extended to food and beverage as well. I feel like it's almost mandatory to have a 60th anniversary Coke Freestyle Cup. And how awesome would it be if they were able to make a Glamour tram popcorn bucket?
Utah, give me 2.
We should also be expecting a ton of classic movie photo ops. I'm hoping they're able to pull some of those picture cars out, like the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
And that's one of my favorite things about Universal Orlando. They have all these classic movie photo ops around the park. And Universal, please,
For the love of God.
bring back that Jaws photo op we used to have on the upper lot. I'm pretty sure it's the same one you can find at Universal Orlando in the Shea Alcatraz area, and that honestly is the best photo op ever. And with the limited space available at Universal Studios Hollywood, there's only a handful of places they could place these photo ops besides the studio tram tour. The first two that come to mind are the Carl Laemmle Court. They actually used this recently at Halloween Horror Nights for the Peacock Bar. And there's also a photo op in this area as well with characters that would switch up from time to time. But I thought that was a great use of the space when this area is mostly just empty.
All you have to do is ask. I'm available.
The other one that comes to mind is the Universal Plaza. This is usually the main area for any party event, whether it's Halloween Horror Nights, the Grinchmas Celebration, or Grad Bash. Occasionally they'll use this space to promote upcoming movies. Last year they had a huge promotion for Fast 10 where they had a bunch of the cars from the movie on display. But with Grad Bash starting in May and running through June, it would be really hard for me to see the Universal Plaza being completely taken up with the 60th anniversary.
I don't like the kid, but he's got a point, Jim.
So I think that majority of the celebration will actually be taking place on the world famous studio tram tour. So let's hop on and see what clues we can find.
Welcome aboard the world famous Universal Studios tour, everyone. Great to have you.
This was our very first ride on one of the new Glamour trams. And oddly enough, there were only a couple running on the day of our visit. Their first bit of update news has nothing to do with the 60th anniversary, but it looks like the Halloween Horror Night team has already started preparation for this year's event. And we recently dropped our first Halloween Horror Night update of 2024, so go check it out if you haven't already. And go ahead and subscribe because we're going to be dropping a ton of mega updates leading up to this year's event.
You got it, Jobin.
There was also tents along the studio tram tour that looked to be storage for lumber and tools. And we also noticed they were actually doing construction at Amity Island. Ignore the man being attacked by the shark and pay attention to the construction right behind him. Here's a better look of all the construction going on in the Amity Island area. It looks like every one of these facades is getting a little TLC in preparation for the 60th anniversary.
I can do anything. I'm the chief of police.
There's a ton of work going on in the Bates Motel area. If you look, there's a massive hole right here, which I'm not exactly sure what this is, but that's a massive hole. It's actually totally hard to tell what's going on from this angle. But looking from above, you can see they ripped out all of the concrete in front of the Bates Motel, which was probably for the best because the ground in this area was looking super rough and probably a safety hazard at this point. Plus, this area gets a ton of foot traffic for Halloween Horror Nights, as guests have to walk through this exact path for the Terror Tram. But all of this attention and work feels much bigger than Halloween Horror Night preparation. It feels like there's a huge push to get this done before the invisible deadline, which has to be for the 60th celebration.
Are you messing with me right now?
And there's even more work going on in the War of the Worlds World set. And it looks like they finally finished paving that secondary road back there as well. You can see it right in front of the log cabin from the Great Outdoors. Here's a look of what it looked like before, and as you can see, it was just a dirt road. Comment down below, do you think this new road will be part of the 60th anniversary, or is this just as simple as a new service route?
Gee, Mr. Spicoli, I don't know.
But here's a bird's eye view of the path of this new road, and as you can see, it goes completely around the War of the World set. And speaking of the War of the World set, it looks like they're completely rebuilding these sets from the ground up, as brand new framework for these facades have recently popped up. And when driving by it on the studio tram tour, it looks like the exact same shape of the homes that were there before. So maybe this apocalyptic neighborhood is getting gentrified.
What do you mean, like Europe?
No, Robbie, not like Europe.
In wrapping up news on the studio tram tour, the accessibility ramp for the bathrooms in this area is finally open, and it looks like they took the time to widen out this path and put some new flooring in, which looks really nice.
Very good.
But it looks like they have a little bit more work to do before the opening date for the 60th celebration. My guess is that they're taking the new flooring in sections. Switching gears, let's talk about the Fast and Furious construction, as we got a giant reveal this week.
You ready, kid?
They removed all the scaffolding around this base right here. Here's a look at what this area looked like last week, and it's scary to see the pace of this project. This base area will be the future queue for the Fast and Furious roller coaster. In this top area, I'm guessing will be the load and unload station. This is just judging by the leaked concept art that came out last year, and again, none of this is confirmed at all, but judging from the space available, it would be hard to imagine this future queue not being 2 stories. Like, where are they gonna fit all those people? I do want to point out roller coaster tracks are indeed on this platform, but it still feels like we're a long ways out from installation for those tracks.
What are you talking about?
And they also recently started spraying down the hillside with this funky green material. This process is actually called hydro seeding.
And a what?
This is often used as an erosion control technique on most construction sites. And it basically helps this steep hillside deal with runoff from the rain. And this is going to be a long process. They're still excavating the rest of this hillside, and once that's done, I'm sure they're gonna hydro seed the entire dirt hill, and then it'll be time to pour pea gravel. And the pea gravel essentially is gonna help reduce the noise coming off the roller coasters and screams.
Alright.
Over on the other side of the Starway, there's a ton of work going on. It looks like these guys are excavating dirt, and you see all those metal rebar sticking out of the ground. That's gonna be the area where they're gonna use to install roller coaster track. So if I had to guess right now, this might be the first spot we're gonna see the track installed. Here's a rendering of what this will look like, provided by Amusement Insider. And I had no idea that you're actually gonna go underneath the Starway as well to get back to the ride station. That's awesome.
Elliot looks a little green.
And while all of these visual updates are awesome for us theme park enthusiasts, the biggest update this week actually happened behind closed doors
Can't believe this.
at the Community Advisor Panel Q1 meeting. This meeting is for the 5 communities surrounding Universal City in Burbank, Hollywood Manor, Toluca Lake, Cahuenga Pass, and Studio City. Each of these 5 neighborhoods is represented by their homeowners association at these meetings.
Hello, Ms. Lady.
And the point of these meetings is to have clear transparency and communication between Universal City and the neighborhoods.
Also, if you could maybe just sometimes
Keep it down.
I'd say the biggest takeaway in regards to the Fast and Furious roller coaster is that all of the bells and whistles rumored for this attraction, like the low rumble track, sound wall, half pipe shields, and 360-degree rotating ride vehicles, is all part of an effort to comply with the property sound ordinance.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
So basically, they're planning to have this attraction run consistent with park hours, including peak seasons and special events like Halloween Horror Nights. In layman's terms, they don't want this attraction to close early like the Studio Tram Tour. Lighting was another concern brought up at this meeting, and Universal let us know there will be no flashing or strobe lights on this roller coaster, and that all of the lighting package will meet the requirements of the Evolution Plan. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Look, it'd be impossible for me to explain it to a layman like yourself.
But one of the people on the panel let it slip that the headlights will actually work on all 4 ride vehicles. And lastly, a major date was revealed. Right now, Universal is expecting testing to begin in Q3 of 2025, basically end of summer next year.
That could take 1,000,000 years.
Alright, let's talk about the other 4 random projects going around the park, starting with the Moulin Rouge. This VIP dining area has been closed for the last couple of months, and it looks like everything's kind of on a standstill at the moment.
The perimeter's quiet.
Yeah, a little too quiet.
I doubt this is the highest priority for Universal right now, and we recently heard that the VIP dining is happening over at Margaritaville and City Walk. It actually sounds like a pretty good time. Over in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, work has finished on the stage that hosts the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally. It doesn't look like they've enhanced or upgraded the stage at all. It looks like it was just simply a refurb project. But just across the way, work has continued on the new future locker system for the Forbidden Journey attraction.
Excellent. 10 points to Gryffindor.
It looks like it's in about the same stage as last time we were here, and there's no timetable of when this project should wrap up. And for my Halloween Horror Night fans, prep work has started for the future tent that's coming to this location. You can see they've actually marked up the ground, and every single year there's a tent right here, and we're just one day too early on this report because the next day our friends Crystal and Chris reported from this exact same spot and showed that the first tent for Halloween Horror Nights has popped up. The cool thing about this location, it's one of the only areas we'll be able to watch visual work be done for Halloween Horror Nights. And speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, we're just a few weeks away from an official announcement for tickets.
You got tickets?
Last year, the first announcement was on April 28th, where they dropped their first teaser video on Halloween Horror Nights YouTube page. And while there was no official clues for that date, you just have to remember the year before we knew that the Chucky house was coming, they actually announced it on Halloween 2022. And with Ghostbusters dropping today, I have a feeling we're gonna get our first house announcement very soon.
You are a public relations dream come true.
But I want to hear from you guys. Comment down below and let me know, what do you think about Halloween Horror Nights this year? Do we think tickets are coming soon? And do you think that the Ghostbusters will be celebrated at this year's event?